Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing City Folk! Today, I have no real clue what we're gonna do. It's only Tuesday, so we're not really gonna be heading into town. Our carnations appear to be doing fine. Yep, all of them are doing fine. Given we know for sure now that there are different fish in the ocean, might try doing some ocean fishing today. First things first, though, we're going to do our standard morning / beginning of the day things. And wander around and see what flowers need watered and check for any new bugs as we're walking through. As well as check for the money rock. And check and see if the bulletin board has anything, which it does not. I did, as you may have noticed, I forgot to go back to the game. What's more, I didn't forget, I just wasn't up in time to come back to the game for the meteor shower, but I believe we have already seen one, so it's not the biggest deal. I'd like to see more of them, but that's just kind of impossible. Oh, that's a weed. Got it. There we go. Not this rock. Let's see, how about this rock? And it's not that one either. So, it's one of the ones over here, the one by Tank's house. I say Tank's house, it's not actually closest to his house, he's just the only villager I can remember that's over there. That's gonna be an awkward rock to get at, so we're just going to hope it's not that one. Or that Coco moves. That works. It's not this rock anyway. So I could have just ignored it, and it would have all been fine. I always get so worried when an animal is right next to a rock now. After that moment of pushing Gladys. I'm just like, I don't trust you, rock. All these watered. I don't really care too much if I've missed them. And I will note it is also really hot again today. So if today is a little short, that's why. I hope to not make this another really short episode where we don't really accomplish anything. Because, well, I can imagine that getting rather boring. Though at this point in the series, I imagine a lot of people are either just tuning in for the first time, or you've been watching this whole way through and you're just here to listen to me talk about things. Because that's usually what this series turns into, is just me talking about things. Because there's really not a whole lot to Animal Crossing. It's a pretty basic game that's just kind of fun to come back to every day. Because you do only play it for like half an hour each day. If you're writing letters, possibly a little longer, but on average, I'd say you probably would only play Animal Crossing for about an hour at most each day. Everything's out of whack again. All because I picked up some dandelions, because they're a weed and must be disposed of. Hey, Benedict. Just gonna block you up there, buddy. Safety precaution. This wasn't the rock anyway. But it's still safety precaution. I hope you understand. And umbrella, then watering can. Even though it used to just be shovel. You know, watering can, shovel, right next to each other. Now the umbrella's getting in the mix. And she's great. I hate how that happens. And here's the money rock. I could swear it was this one like yesterday, but you know what? It's fine. It's It's giving us extra money today. I'm not gonna argue with extra money. We got like an extra 400 bells. Wait, it'd be an extra 600. Because we get an extra on the 100 and an extra on the 500. There we go. Now, I think we're going to do fishing before going to Nook's, because let's face it, we're going to have things to sell to him. So we may as well just, you know, fish while we're down here. I also really know I should be talking to our animals more. It's just so hot. And like, I just can't. I just can't even. Memes. There we go. Fish noticed. It's gonna be a horse mackerel, isn't it? No, it's squid. Fair enough. I thought that was going to be a horse mackerel because, well, why wouldn't it be a horse mackerel? That's just generally what that size of fish usually gives, is horse mackerel. That looks like a bigger fish. It's probably just going to be a sea bass. But we may as well try it. So there is always the chance it'll be something new, but nah, it's a sea bass. Hey buddy, how's it going? And an octopus. He's now a shocktopus. That actually just reminded me. Splatoon 2 just recently concluded its 1 year anniversary Splatfest. Funnily enough, the Splatoon's 1 year birthday is on the 25th, so it's tomorrow from the date of in-game. It's like 2 days from real time. So, like, at least I think, yeah, it's 24th. So, like, I figured they'd wait until then to do their Splatfest, and that's when it was advertised at one point. I remember hearing that date. But no, it was like yesterday. Octos were more popular, yet squids won. Reason is purely because of how everything is calculated. Oh, pufferfish. I don't think we have one of those yet. But to give kind of a simple breakdown, I hope I can keep this simple and people understand what I'm saying. Because it's kind of a complicated thing, but it's also at the same time really simple. Effectively, okay, the more popular team will basically almost always lose. There has been exceptions, but almost always the popular team has lost in Splatoon Splatfests, which are basically just big popularity contests. You choose a side, say with the most recent one, it was either squid or octopus. And that's the side you're battling for and getting wins for. Now, what happens is the more popular team fights itself a lot, giving wins technically, but it also doesn't, because it's a win and a loss, meaning it's technically giving absolutely nothing. Effectively, the match doesn't matter. You still get to play, and for the player experience, that is fairly nice. I mean, you're getting to play the game. Problem comes when the less popular team, in this Splatfest case, that was Team Squid, they're almost exclusively getting games against Team Octo, meaning any win they get is much more significant, because they're not fighting themselves a lot. So if you play like 3 games, and you get 2 that are Octo v Octo, the results of them don't matter. Your third game against the Squid matters. It matters even more if you lost. If you lost, you've just given the other team a win for 3 games of effort on your part. Which generally leads to the less popular team winning purely because it is less popular. Which kind of defeats the purpose of the Splatfest. It's to determine which one is better. Well, you know, more popular / better, not just which one's less popular. Honestly, I think that the more popular team should get an advantage on winning based on how many more people they have. Because let's face it, in like say a Squid versus Octo Splatfest, you're probably almost always going to have a near 50-50 split. I think the split was something like 60-some% were Octo and 40-some% were Squid. So it must have been 50-something% were Octo. So like it was a pretty balanced setup. But the fact that there were more Octos and the fact that the matchmaker even like okay, this is something I witnessed a lot and actually have on stream. I would get put into a lobby. Said lobby would sit there for about 10 seconds of the countdown timer, and then be matched against another Team Octo team. Meanwhile, you know, if we would have waited another 10-15 seconds, we very likely would have got a game against Team Squid. And the player has no input on this. You get matched up against whatever the game tells you you're matched up against. Release the tire. I thought I was gonna throw it into the water. I'm nice. Actually, I should put something away. Let's just put the umbrella away for a second. And head off to Nook's, because that's a full inventory. Like, I don't honestly know how to fix the Splatfests to make them more balanced. Other than, you know, giving the more popular side an advantage based on how much more popular they are. Like, say, if they have 10% more of the popular vote, make their wins count for 1.1 win. That way, every 10 wins, they're getting technically an extra win. That would kind of balance out the number of times that, well, another part of the problem is just the more popular team also tends to have a lot more inexperienced players, but that counting experience doesn't really matter. I'm gonna hang on to 1 pufferfish because I believe that is a new fish. Don't need 2 of them though. Everything else there is all not new, so. Turnip prices. 70 bells. That's terrible, Nook. But, like, the whole system is complicated. I honestly kind of wish that the system would just split players evenly. Choose their sides for them, but that kind of takes away part of the point. Yeah, I honestly think just giving the extra points to the more popular team would help. You don't have to tell the players which team you're giving an advantage to either. Because the more popular team, if it's calculated right, and like the estimate I gave is undoubtedly not going to work just right. you actually bother to count them, the average pufferfish is said to have around 400 spines on it. In case you don't know, while the pufferfish may look like a blowfish, it is not poisonous. So on the whole, this fish is much less fearsome than it looks. Or perhaps it just believes in fair play. All that aside, you have our gratitude. Okay, I have nothing else to donate. I actually forget what I was going on about. Yeah, the numbers I gave are just rough and off the top of my head. They probably wouldn't actually work in practice. But, like, there needs to be some way to account for the more popular team having more dead matches. That could also just simply be accomplished by not allowing a team to fight itself. Yes, that's going to cause people to sit and wait in lobbies. But let's face it, you already probably sit and wait in lobbies in other games for, 2-3 minutes. It's not going to kill you to do maybe a minute or two in Splatoon. Because usually you will get games like, that quickly. Exceptions to that could happen in a case like in the first Splatoon game, the Pirates vs. Ninjas Splatfest was a complete popularity win by Ninjas. They had like 70% of the vote. There weren't many Pirates. Pirates won that Splatfest easy because they didn't really even have to try to even get the top of the win count. Because they were just getting match after match after match. Meanwhile, everyone else is fighting furiously to even get a game against Pirate. A single loss against them means a whole lot more in the grand scheme of things. Because it might be 8 or 9 games before you even see them again. Meanwhile, they're getting game after game after game, and it's a timed event. It's whoever can win the most in that time. So if you're just not seeing them and they've won 20 games, and then you just never see them again for the rest of it because, the 20-some% just stop playing, well, you lose because they're not playing right now. You can't match up against them. It's honestly really frustrating. And also, I should probably, now that it's definitely past time, I should put KK Country down here. Where is it? Went past it, didn't I? There it is. Look at them go. Just gonna kick the Koopa shell a bit. Sounds like it should be a euphemism. Quiet down this. There we go. I like the little train set. It's just so nice to watch the little train go around. I've always liked train sets. I also like ships, which is why I still have the ship in the bottle there. But yeah, I just Splatfests are annoying. And I know some people are probably gonna be like, oh, well, you're just salty, you're on Team Octo. Yeah, I kind of am. I knew from the moment that the Splatfest was announced, I should have joined Team Squid, because it would have been the least popular team. Like, that's literally my thought process of, okay, which team was going to be least popular? That's what I should join. But instead, I joined the team I legitimately wanted to be a part of. And we lost because people liked octopus, or the octolings, more than squids. I just don't think that's very fair. But that's just my opinion. And with that, I thank you all very much for watching, and hope to see you again next time for more Animal Crossing City Folk. See you all then.